We are going to do this for the last exercise, that is exercise 1.6. Okay, so first of all, whenever we hear this term called estimation, what comes to our mind? That's something that we are going to estimate. Now, what is this estimate? See, in Hindi we say it lagbhag, right? So sometimes there are situations when you have to estimate. Suppose you are sitting in a stadium and a friend of you calls you and he asks you, oh, how many people are there in the stadium? You cannot count them individually, right? You will say around 50,000, right? Or maybe about 50,000. So this number that you gave isn't exactly the same number. It's around, it may be 55,000 or 50,400, but you estimated it, right? That you approximated it. So this is called estimation. Or you may be on a picnic on a school bus, and your parent, may your father call you up, and how many students are there with you in the bus? So you won't count, though you can, but still, if you have to quickly answer, you will say around 20, right? About 20. So this is estimation. In real life, estimation is very important because it gives us an idea about the things, right? Okay, so we are going to start something called rounding off, which helps us to estimate. Okay, now what is this rounding off? We are going to understand with rounding off to the nearest 10. Okay, so what we understand by this? So let's take an example. How about I take 346? Okay, so we are going to take 346. We are going to follow these rules. Okay, these rules are also given in your book. The very first rule is to replace ones digit. This is ones, tens, and hundred, right? We will replace ones digit with a zero. So if we have to round off to the nearest 10, जो उससे previous आएगा, the thing that is coming previous to that, we will make it equal to 0. Okay, so this will be 0. If ones digit is 5 or more than 5, now we will look at the ones digit. Everything is to be done with ones digit now, if it is asking for rounding off to 10. So 6 is greater than 5, right? If it is greater than 5, what you will do, you will increase the tens digit by 1. So I'm going to increase the tens digit by 1, which is 5. Now the last step, leave rest of the digits unchanged. So I will keep this guy unchanged and we have rounded off the nearest 10. What it actually means in layman terms is we are making this 346 closer to this 350. Okay, a rounding off, an estimation. Okay, okay, let's try another one. How about 2553? Now let's try this one. Again, we have to round off to the nearest 10. You need to read the question first. If it says nearest 10, you will do it the same way that we are going to. Now let's look at the ones digit. We will make that equal to 0. The second step, is it greater than or equal to 5? No. If it is not greater than equal to 5, we will keep the tens digit as it is. And the remaining guys will remain as it is as well. Okay, let's try one more. Let's try one more. How about 4253? Again, let me shut the door. I can hear some noises coming up, right? Just a minute. There we go. Okay, so now we are going to round this off to the nearest 10. So first step, convert this to 0. Let's check, is it greater than 5 or equal to 5? No. So I will keep the tens digit as it is. Okay. Now about the remaining guys, let's keep it as it is. Okay. So whenever you have to round it up to the nearest 10, you will observe the ones digit. You will make it immediately equal to 0. Then you will observe. If it is greater than 5, it will change the tens digit by 1. Okay. It will increase the tens digit by 1. Suppose I had this question like this. Okay. Now, obviously, I will convert this equal to 0, but now this is greater than 5. So this will increase by 1. And if I increase 5 by 1, I will get 6. Yes. And keeping the rest guys same. You don't have to do anything apart from tens. Okay. So this is how we round off to the nearest tens. Hopefully this is clear. Okay. Now we are going to move to rounding off to nearest 100. Okay. Same pattern, but rounding off to nearest 100. Okay. Let's take 4256. Now this time we have to round off to nearest 100, right? Nearest 100. Now this time we are supposed to do round off nearest 100. If you remember when we were doing it nearest tens, what we did, we made the ones digit 0. Now this time we are doing rounding off nearest 100. So what I will do? This is ones, tens, and hundred. So the guys that are before that, I will make those as zero, right? Before tens, the zero I made once, right? So this time 5, 6 will be zero. Okay, good. Now you have to observe this tens digit. Okay, you have to observe this tens digit. Is it greater than or equal to 5? Yes, you can observe it is actually equal to 5. If it is equal to 5, we will increase the 100 digit by 1, the same pattern. So 3 and keeping the rest digits same. Or if you want to follow the steps in the book, you can follow those as well. Okay, let's go over here. Replace one. Okay, let me take this example. 42486. You don't have to look it over here. You can just understand over here. Replace ones and tens digit by zero. Yes, that's we will do because this was hundreds place. So I will make other guys ones and tens before that zero. That is the rule. Whatever I'm rounding off, the guys before those will be zero. Okay. Now, if tens digit is 5, I can see it is not 5, it is actually more than 5. So I will increase the 100 digit by 1. Ones, tens, 100. So I will increase this guy by 1 and keeping the rest of the digits same, and we are done. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Try this on your own. You can tell me in the chat or maybe in the comment. Okay. Okay. Let's try rounding off to the nearest 1,000 now. Okay. 100 we have already done. Same pattern will follow. This is really easy. Okay. Let's try this one. 3684. We are rounding off to the nearest 1,000 this time. 1,000. Okay. So ones, tens, 100, 1,000. This is 1,000. Everything before 1,000 will be zero. Exactly. Glad you are able to answer now. So 0, 0, and 0. Right? Everything before 1,000 will be 0. Okay. Now I will look at what? I will look at the hundreds place. When I was doing rounding off to tens, I was observing ones place. When I was rounding off to the 100, I was observing tens place. Now I'm rounding off to the 1,000. I will observe, yes, 100 place, right? So let's observe 100 place. You can see this is greater than 5. And whenever it is greater than 5 or equal to 5, we increase the next guy by 1. So 3 will be increased by 1 and it to 4,000. So this guy rounding off to the nearest 1,000 is actually 4,000 and we are done. Let's try this one. Looking quite big, but actually is quite easy. Okay. Again, the same step, ones, tens, 100,000. So everything before 1,000 will be 0. So 1, 2, 6. Oh, let's not write this down beforehand. 0, 0, 0, 3 zeros. Okay. Now, this is 1,000. So we'll observe the 100. It is less than 5. Since it is less than 5, I will keep the 6 as it is. And the remaining guys also as it is. And we are done. This is our what? This is our rounding off to the nearest 1,000. Okay. Now I can see that you are able to understand this. Okay. So let's practice a bit. Okay. Let me upload your exercise over here and let's practice a bit from there. So we are going to do it from there. And here we go. Voila. Okay. So first of all, we are going to do rounding off ones. This question we are going to do the second one, the third one, and fourth one. See, so many questions we can do now. Good. Okay. The number 12572 is rounded to 12572 to the nearest 100. Okay, let's try to round it off to the nearest 100. Okay, first. 732. Okay. So ones, tens, and 100. So we will make these guys as 0. So if I make these guys as 0, I will get this. Okay. Instead of writing the whole thing, make these as 0 first. Okay. Now observe the tens guy. It is less than 5. So I will keep the other guys as it is. Now you can see this is actually nearest 100 round off and it is actually correct. So this one is correct. Okay. Now let's observe B1 also nearest 100 is not this one we got already. Nearest 1,000. No, because it says A and B. That means only A option is correct. So A option is the correct one for this. Second one we will do when we will understand the sum and difference estimation. For now, we are focusing on rounding off. Let's try rounding off to the nearest tens. Okay. The second question, first part. 243. Remember the rules. What we do? We change the ones digit to 0. Let's observe. Is it less than 5? Yes, it is. So it will not change. 4 will not change. So 4 will keep as it is, and we don't have to do anything to the 100. So this is the rounding off. Let's try the second part. 42 ones and tens, making this 0. Observing the ones digit, it is less than 5. So we will keep this guy as it is. Let's try the third part. You don't have to make arrows like it can be seen in the book. They're trying to make understand. Okay, let's try this one. Now you can see this is actually once only. You can just make it 0, right? Yes, and you don't have to worry about any tens digit, right? So this can be done as 0 only. Good. Okay. Or you can also observe in one way that 4 is closer to 0, right? 4 is closer to 0. If there was 7, it is closer to 10. So I will write 10. So that's how it works. Now, fourth part, 3252. Let's try this one. So once I will make it 0, I can observe 1 is less than 5. So I will keep the 5 as it is, not increasing it by 1. Now let's try the fifth part. It says 3, 4, 5, 6. Interesting. Let's change the 6 to 0. It is greater than 5, so I will increase this guy by 1. So it will be 6, keeping the rest guys same. That was the rule if you remember. Let's try 25. Change this 5 to 0. 5 is greater than or equal to 5. It is equal to 5, right? It can be equal to 5 as well. If it is equal to 5, let's increase it by 1. The rule is very simple. If the ones digit is equal to 5 or maybe greater than 5, then we will increase the tens digit by 1. Okay, we will increase this by 1. Okay, so second question we have discussed completely. Okay, let's go about the third question. Third question, I'm going to do it over here on the left hand side. Here we go. Round off to the nearest 100. So we are going to round it off to the nearest 100. Remember the rules? Whatever is before that rounding off, we will make that equal to 0, right? So ones, tens, 100. So we will make these guys zeros because this is 100. Before guys will be zeros. So 0. Now let's observe 1 before that 100. Tens that is, right? So we'll observe 7. 7 is greater than 5. So I will increase the next guy by 1. So it will be 4 and we are done. Voila. Let's change the color. How about red? Okay, let's try 4, 2, 5, 7, 5, 3. Okay, now we can see that 3 ones, tens, and 100, right? Now we will make these guys as zeros as usual because before hundreds and everything will be 0 because rounding off this time 100. Now let's observe the tens digit. Is it equal to or greater than 5? Yes, it is. So I will increase the 7 by 1 and keeping the rest guys same. Right? I'm going to try one more. Okay, let's try this one. Sixth one, 49. Now here you can see there is ones, tens, right? There is nothing else. Now we will make ones and tens zeros if you remember. So this will be 0 only. But also one more thing, it's better if you do it this way. Whenever you get a 2-digit number, observe which it is closer to. Is it closer to 100? No. Is it more closer to 0, right? If you observe, if I give you 51, now this is more closer to what? 100. So this will be 100. But if I go for 49, it is more closer to 0. So it will be 0. Okay, that's how we round it off. Or you may understand if it is less than 50, you round it off to 0. If it is greater than 50, you round it off to 100. Okay, that is another way when you don't have 100 place, ones, tens, and 100 place. Okay, so this will be 49 will be what? 49 will be 0. 49 will be 0. Okay, so yes, this is also done. This was also done. You may try these ones on your own. Let's try rounding off to the nearest 1,000. Okay, here we go. Fourth part. Okay, I don't have space over here, so I'm going to erase this part. Fourth part, I'm going to erase. Let's erase. Okay, here we go. So rounding off to the 1,000 now. So 4, 2, 5, ones, tens, 100. There is no 1,000 over here, right? And you can see even if there was, let's write 0. We can write it as 0, right? So let's convert everything as zeros first. So we can convert everything as 0. Okay. Now you observe ones, tens, 100 place, right? 100 place is less than 5. So I will not increase this. So I will keep this as it is, and you can see the answer is actually 0 only. We will say 0 only. But what if it was 0, 5 to 5, or you can say 5 to 5 because 0 doesn't have value in the 5. I'm just trying to make you understand how we are supposed to do when there is no 1,000 place and they are asking us to do it nearest 1,000, right? Okay. So again, ones, tens, 100,000. Okay, so we'll make everything 0 before that, right? Whatever place you have to round off, we make everything before that 0. So 1, 2, 3. Now observe the 100 place. It is 5. It is equal to 5. So I will increase this guy by 1. So this time it is 1,000. So that's how it works. Hopefully this is clear. Now, let's try the next part. How about this part? Okay, this you can try on your own. 6, 7. Oh, the third part I'm trying with you. 2, 3, 6, 7, 5. Okay. So ones, tens, 100,000. So let's make everything else 0. 1, 2, 3. I can see the 100 place is greater than 5. So I will increase this by 1. And we are done. Very easy indeed. Okay, let's try the last part. You can try these on your own, hopefully. Okay. 2, 4, 8, 2, 3. Right? So let's do the same thing. Ones, tens, 100,000. We will make other guys before 1,000 as zeros. Now, observe the 100 place. 100 place is greater than 5. So I will increase this by 1. Okay, so increasing this by 1. And we are done. Right? Hopefully this makes sense. So we are done rounding off to nearest 10, 100, and 1,000.